Esau and shit like that. Trust me. You know, I risked a lot coming into this truth and lost a lot coming into this truth. You know, have not been paid one penny for doing what I do by anybody besides the brother Yashawamba giving me, you know, helping me out, not giving but helping me out, you know, with whatever he had to offer the times that I went to go visit them brothers. Other than that, I've never been paid. I've never been given anything. You know, I've always worked, struggled, staying at jobs with certain individual people and continue doing the work for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, but Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai showed me certain things, man. You know, signs and wonders for me, for my faith, to boost my faith. Okay. Right. So it goes. 2nd Ezra 9:3 it says, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes, rumors of people, or uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. You know? Even from the beginning, man. In the beginning, who created the heavens and the earth? Yahweh Shai and the angels, man, the Alahayim. Okay? So the angels have always been there with Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai has always been there. Yahweh Shai gives them the command to come down here. It's Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and the angels. And Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and you got the Archangel Michael. You have the hierarchy of the angels that are right there, and you got all the other angels. There's an order. You know? It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Right. So that's why you've seen a lot of people get scared when you watch the footage of certain these people in this footage, in the footage that they catch these lights. These people are in fear, man. They're in awe. They're in, you know, they can't believe what they're seeing type. Right? They're astonished. But the Lord tells us not to be that way. Let me get this one. This is Jeremiah 10:1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speak unto your house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Okay? Because we know what they are. Or do we rejoice? Are we happy? Yes. But we're not in awe, like in fear of, oh my God, what is this? Because people are saying they're being invaded, they're aliens, and something's coming to destroy them. And it is, because the Lord's coming back to simultaneously to deliver and destroy. Okay? That's what's going on, man. Let me get this one. Before I bring this one out, I'm going to finish that one there. 2nd Ezra 9. It says, 2nd Ezra 9:6, even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs, as it said in Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3:3, for what if some did not believe, shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? No, man. The Lord is coming back with effects, signs, wonders. You know? His word is going to accomplish. His word never returns unto him void, man. Okay? It says, yeah, that's it on there. So going to Wisdom of Solomon 5:1, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. That's right, because they're not just going to be amazed at the individual being saved, but what saved them. Okay. I'm going to get two scripts here in Revelations. Revelations chapter 15, verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. So that's the elect. Okay, the ones that were chosen from the foundations of the earth, predestined. They're going to be caught up in the chariots, and it's going to appear as a sea of glass, because they're going to be in the heavens watching great Babylon destroyed, man. AKA America. And Esau's whole system, his whole image. Okay? Everything's going to be destroyed. His democracy, his Draconian, the Draconian laws. Okay? All this stuff, his lies, his pseudoscience, philosophies, doctrines, everything's going to be withered away and destroyed from the root up. Okay? But the elect are going to be in those chariots. Alright? Going over here to Revelations 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. That's what is going on right now. Brothers are popping up everywhere, coming out of them graves, alive and living in and died in Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai, but alive, prophesying, preaching, admonishing, rebuking, exhorting. They were given exhortation. Okay, studying to show themselves approved unto the Most High, being a worshiper of Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai. Giving reverence unto him, and so his name, Yahweh Shai. Okay? And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, right? So they heard a great voice from heaven. So there's going to be a sounding of a noise or a trumpet, as a trumpet. And they heard, and they is that talking about those ones that were revived after 3 days and a half. And a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Okay? That's that chariot. Okay? Right here, it tells you that we're going to ascend into a cloud, which is singular. So, pretty much the elect are going to be all gathered into one big chariot. Not saved by certain little chariots. Those angels are going to be working to protect you, but every brother and sister is going to be caught up in one main chariot, man. That's by the strangeness of his salvation. That is said in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Because they weren't looking in the heavens. They weren't looking being spiritual. They weren't looking as this as being their ultimate guide, their hope, their comfort. But just honoring the Lord with their lips, but their heart is far from him. Just like that individual that called me and told me what he saw, and then the next day, oh man, that's fake. And then I think later on that night, text me, say, hey, look outside at 9:40. There's satellites. It's going to happen again. It's not for them, man. It's not for them at all. It's for the elect. And when he called and told me, I was happy too in a sense, because I was like, man, I hope he believes. The Lord starts bringing him in, but Second Corinthians 4:3. For if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahushua Mashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. See? So the Lord has to shine unto you in your spirit, in your mind, for you to be able to receive it. Alright? For we preach not ourselves, but Yahushua Mashiach the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Yahushua's sake. For Yahweh, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts the mind to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of the Most High in the face of Yahushua Mashiach. So it's our job to give this knowledge, this light unto others. Okay? But we have this treasure in earthly vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of the Most High and not of us. Right? So it has nothing to do with us. These chariots that are coming, this is from up top, man, from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They receive all glory, honor. We're just eyewitnesses. We're just giving testimonies and hoping at the end that we're going to be received and delivered. All right? So Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. Why are they going to be groaning in anguish of spirit? Because they're going to be caught up by way of fire, man. And there's many scriptures I can go into to bring out certain things. I'm just going by the Spirit. I can go into 2 Corinthians 13. I can go into many other scriptures. Brothers, or the listeners say, hey, bring out this. Why is he bringing out that scripture? Hey, I'm just going by the Spirit, man. And one thing, I'm not no parrot. I ain't gonna be bringing out, that's not what the Most High requires. The Most High requires a man that is gonna go by way of the Spirit. I really had planned bringing out the one in Zechariah, the flying robe. Going into the whole thing, what are these? What is it? The Spirit led me in this direction. So Lord willing, I'll bring out those. It says, for they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How was he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Yep. Revelations 11:12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither, and they ascended up in heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High in heaven. Okay? Let's go over here to Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay? Because Yahweh Shah, as I read Revelation chapter 1 and 7, or 1 and 9. Yeah, Revelation 1 and 7, they're all going to mourn, they're going to wail because of his appearing. Why? Because they rejected the gospel. They rejected his saints. They rejected the word. They didn't take heed to the sounding of the alarm. They didn't believe in anything that we were saying. Okay? Why? Because the world was set in their heart. They could not know these things, right? Let me get that one. This is Ecclesiastes 3 and 11. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he has set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that Yahweh make it from the beginning to the end. See? Nor can they see, man. You know? Why? Because the God of this world has blinded their minds, their heart. It goes on to say in Matthew 24 and 30, or 31, and let me start at verse 30 again. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay. So those clouds represent the chariots. Let me bring that out. For the listener maybe think, hey man, get to the point. Get to the point. Hey man, I'm going about it. I'm out here doing the work, man. You know? Psalms 104 and 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Right, so he makes the clouds his chariot. Who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flaming fire. Okay? So those clouds represent the chariots of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm going to come over here to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 7. It's Daniel 7 and 13. I saw in the night's vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. So the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, man. He came with Yahweh Shai. Is the Lord of hosts. The Lord of Sabaoth, which means the Lord of armies. Okay? And came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. So the Ancient of Days is his father Yahweh, man. And those clouds of heaven brought them towards him. It says, and there was given him dominion, glory, and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages shall serve him. See? All people are going to be under the servitude of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All nations are going to revere and obey Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, the elect, the nation of Israel. All the other nations, the heathen nations, are going to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai in that day, man. In the kingdom. Yahweh Shai, Israel, the elect, King David, they're going to rule all over again. But in righteousness and peace. Okay? It says, his dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. That's right. So all the tribes of the earth are going to mourn, man. And he's going to gather up the elect. As it said in Matthew 24 and 31, he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay. Good morning, man. So right now, you know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is using these angels to gather the elect by way of sounding the trumpet. Okay, distributing this gospel to the four corners of the earth via the internet. Okay, telling the people what the deal is to the best of our ability, humbly. Okay. Let me get this one in Daniel 12. This is Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So if you're written in the book of life, guess what? You're going to be called up in the chariot by the sounding of that trumpet. Come up hither. And you're going to be beamed up, man, by way of the whirlwind, because that's how Enoch, Elijah were taken into the heavens. It says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt, which is leading me to 2 Esdras 13. Second Esdras 13, and I'll start at verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would not have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. That's talking about the chariot, man. Okay? Because the mountain of Zion is a people before a place. Israel is a people before a place. But Yahushua is bringing the Lord of hosts. He's bringing all that with him, man. The angels, his the chariots, that main chariot. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Right, so this is a war that's going to happen in the heavens, as it tells us here in the book of Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. The Lord of hosts, the Lord of Sabaoth. Durst fight. They're going to try to fight against him. It's going to be a great war. Third World War in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, the Valley of Decision. The Third World War, also known as Megiddo, Armageddon, or Armageddon. It says, 2 Esdras 13 and 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war. The Lord ain't coming back as a man. The scriptures tell us that in these last days, it's going to be with fuel and fire. It's not going to be by way of, as it was in the old times, with the sword, you know. It's going to be straight up missiles, pure energy being shot out. Esau using his ICBMs, you know, whatever type of low frequencies, sound waves that he has, whatever laser he has. Yahweh Shai is going to shoot forth concentrated energy as well. This is Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So that's how it's going to be, man. That's why it's about to give you a description. 2 Esdras 13 and 10, because he's, like I say, he neither held sword or any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire. So the Lord ain't going to open his mouth and send out fire. Okay? It's whatever he was riding upon. Whatever he's controlling, the will within the will, as we got the description in Ezekiel chapter 1. And I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, right? It's that concentrated energy that's going to disintegrate, vaporize these individuals. Okay? Like a good example or a visual is World of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterward I saw that the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. See? So he's coming down out of his chariot and calling up a certain multitude. A peaceable multitude, meaning there's a people. Okay? That's where he's saying, come up hither. It says, and there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy. Thou shalt, and that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Right? So Ezra saw the chariots. He saw these things, man. He saw the third world war, the end. The downfall of Esau, their oppressor. Those that try to war against Yahweh Shah. He saw that. You know? But going back to what I read in Revelation, where they're going to mourn, all the tribes of the earth are going to mourn. That's what they're going to mourn about, because they're going to see the strangeness of our salvation. Remember when I'm part of that number. You know? It's going to be beautiful, man. It's going to be magnificent. It's going to be a spectacle to observe, to eyewitness. Nothing like the stuff that goes on here. You know? So going over here, I'm going to bring it out here in Zechariah. Because like I said, there's a lot of more sightings becoming more and more with these lights coming out, and numerous lights that are coming out, that are being shown. It's not just one, you're seeing just one or a couple. Oh, these are numerous of lights that are coming out, appearing before the people. This is Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Right, and there's people that say that what they see, they resemble a cigar shape. What else? Like, I believe they say like egg roll shape. You know, whatever people can imagine being long and round. You know, I believe like a cylinder. Okay, or a can shape. It says, and he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. So these chariots are nothing to be played with. As I read in Exodus 23, how the severity of that angel was, versus if you obeyed his voice, you'll be taken care of, protected. That cloud by day and that fire by night for the Israelites that were drawn out of Egypt. Okay? Because the Lord can be an enemy to you. Or he could be an enemy to your enemies. But that's what these chariots are coming to do. They're not just putting on a performance to make you people excited. No, they're coming in. They're watching, as it's stated here in the book of Amos. Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh. See, so the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. The eyes of the angels. They're watching. They're recording everything. They've been here, but now they're just making more of an appearance because we're getting closer to the end. They're coming. You know, Yahweh Shai told us that, hey, I'm on my way. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll be there. You know? See if I can find that script that I'm thinking of. This is Matthew 24:19. Go ye therefore to teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the world. Amen. Right, so the Lord is with us, meaning that He's coming back, even to the end of the world. So that means He has to come back. He's coming back. The angels told the disciples here in the book of Acts. This is the book of Acts 1 and 9. And when He had spoken these things, they beheld, He was taken up, and a cloud received Him out of their sight, the chariot. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as He went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen Him go into heaven. So He's going to come back. He ascended, now He's going to descend as an angelical force with all power, great power, man. There's going to be people that are going to mourn. There's going to be people that are going to rejoice in that day. You know? And those brothers that see these things, like I said, we're not dismayed at them in the sense of, oh, fear, and, you know, we know what they are. We're happy. We see it as a sign of hope, of strength, strengthening us to continue in the faith, to continue. Hey, keep doing it. I'm coming. I'm not going to leave you. Okay? I have never left y'all. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm on my way. That's all He's telling us. When we see it, these other people are afraid, man. Like I told that individual, I was like, what it is, man, you're really just scared. You're really scared to acknowledge that they are those things. Or when I said those things, talking about the chariots, because you could very well be destroyed. You know? You're just really scared. That means that all your hopes and your dreams are going to go away. America's going to be destroyed. You know, war is really going to come back. You know, war is really coming. It's not just going to be this war between men. It's going to be a war between the Father, the Heavenly Father, His Son, the angels, and men. This is it, man. But you have to believe and have faith in that. A lot of these people, they don't believe in that. Even though they say they believe in the Bible, they read the book of Revelations, but they don't really believe it, man. You know? They're just full of shit. So Zechariah 9 and 4, or Zechariah 5 and 4, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts. So the Lord is bringing these angels, commanding these angels to come forth. Alright? And it shall enter into the house of the thief. So the angels are coming into the house of the thief. That's why you're seeing a lot of sightings here within America, man. Who's the house of the thief? Esau, Edom, which is the one that came and stole this land from the Native American Indians, the indigenous people of the land. Right? And made himself the king. Donald Trump